Article 287. Light coercions. Any person who by means of violence shall seize anything belonging to his debtor for the purpose of applying the same to the payment of the debt shall suffer the penalty of arresto mayor in its minimum period and a fine equivalent to the value of the thing, but in no case less than 75 pesos. Any other coercions or unjust fixations shall be punished by arresto minor or a fine ranging from 5 pesos to 200 pesos or both. Elements. First, that the offender must be a creditor. Second, that he seizes anything belonging to his debtor. Third, that the seizure of the thing be accomplished by means of violence or a display of material force producing intimidation. Fourth, that the purpose of the offender is to apply the same to the payment of the debt. In the case of Renato Baleros Jr. versus People of the Philippines, GR number 138033, February 22, 2006. The facts of the case are as follows. In the evening of December 12, inside Unit 307, Malu retired at around 10:30. Early morning of the following day, Malu was awakened by the smell of chemical on a piece of cloth pressed on her face. She struggled but could not move. Somebody was pinning her down on the bed, holding her tightly. She wanted to scream for help, but the hands covering her mouth with cloth wet with chemicals were very tight. Still, Malu continued fighting off her attacker by kicking him until at last her right hand got free. With this, the opportunity presented itself when she was able to grab hold of his sex organ, which then squeezed. The man then let her go. The issue in this case is whether the offender's act causes annoyance, irritation, torment, distress, or disturbance to the mind of the person whom it is directed. The court held that yes, the offender's act causes annoyance, irritation, torment, distress, or disturbance to the mind of the person to whom it is directed. It would be too strained to construe petitioner's act of pressing a chemical-soaked cloth in the mouth of Malu, which should induce her to sleep, as an overt act that will logically and necessarily ripen into rape. As it were, petitioner did not commence at all the performance of any act indicative of an intent or attempt to rape Malu. It cannot be overemphasized that petitioner was fully clothed and that there was no attempt on his part to undress Malu, let alone touch her private part. For what reason petitioner wanted the complainant unconscious, if that was really his immediate intention, is anybody's guess. The information filed against petitioner contained an allegation that he forcefully covered the face of Malu with a piece of cloth soaked in chemical, and during the trial, Malu testified about the pressing against her face of the chemical-soaked cloth and having struggled after petitioner held her tightly and pinned her down. Verily, while the series of acts committed by the petitioner do not determine attempted rape, they constitute unjust fixation punishable as light coercion under the second paragraph of Article 287 of the Revised Penal Code. As aptly observed by then Justice Ramon C. Aquino, there is no need to allege malice, restraint, or compulsion in an information for unjust fixation. As it were, unjust fixation exists even without the element of restraint or compulsion, for the reason that this term is broad enough to include any human conduct which, although not productive of some physical or material harm, would unjustly annoy or irritate an innocent person. Malu, after the incident in question, cried while relating to her classmates what she perceived to be a sexual attack, and the fact that she filed a case for attempted rape proved beyond cavil that she was disturbed, if not distressed, by the acts of petitioner. Therefore, petitioner is acquitted on the charge of attempted rape. However, petitioner is adjudged guilty of light coercion.